Guy, and this is Guy Talk Sports. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you clicking on that old thumbnail. I'm excited about today's episode. I did an episode not too long ago about the University of Tennessee's unofficial fight song, Rocky Top. And that episode seems to be doing really well and has generated a lot of interest and got me thinking about, well, what else should people know about the University of Tennessee? So I know this is Guy Talk Sports, and I typically talk about sports, but I wanted to do another episode because I just love the University of Tennessee and everything about it. And so we're going to dive into that. But before we do, if you don't mind, on the bottom right corner there, you'll see a subscribe button. Go ahead, smash that for me. I appreciate it. Let's dive in. So let's start with where the University of Tennessee gets its nickname, the Vols, from. And so I've had several rival fans and people from out of state wondering where on earth we get our name from. And so I've heard some people even call it the Vols. I think Jeremy Pruitt did when he first got here. So for everyone out there wondering, kind of where the University of Tennessee gets its nickname from, it's because the state of Tennessee is known as the Volunteer State. There we go, the Vols, right? So there was an article from Knox News back in 2019. Didn't have a author associated with it, or I'd include their name, but I will include the link down in the description below, as I do with every article I talk about. They kind of explored this, and so there's really two events that triggered the nickname. First, in the War of 1812, you get President James Madison, who called on to Tennessee to help defend the lower parts of Mississippi and Louisiana from Great Britain, right? And so you get Major General Andrew Jackson commanding the Tennessee militia, who leads an expedition to New Orleans where they defend and defeat the British in late 1814, early 1815. So that's the first incident. And then a few years later, you get President James K. Polk, who was a native Tennessean. He asked for 2,600 volunteers from the state of Tennessee to help fight in the Mexican-American War. 30,000 responded ready to fight. And, so these two kind of events are some of the reasons that we are called the Volunteer State. And so that's always something that's kind of an interesting bit, and I'm proud to call myself a Tennessean for. And so this kind of segues into the next segment, which is, well, where do we get our mascots? We'll talk about the most famous one here in a second that people know of for Tennessee, but in that Mexican-American War, one of the volunteers was none other than Davy Crockett, who is an East Tennessean and congressman who bravely fought and died at the Battle of the Alamo. You will see a mascot representing him on our sidelines, typically carrying some sort of rifle, as well as a big orange flag with the power T on it. And so he's officially one of our mascots. And this article comes from Savannah Young on WATE.com. You will see two other figures roaming the sidelines at football games in particular. One is a real blue tick coonhound, and the other a mascot dressed to resemble him, right? The real blue tick coonhound's only at football games. The others you'll see at other sporting events. But that dog is named Smokey, right? He was introduced in 1953 when the University Pep Club had a contest to pick our new live mascot. The winner was Reverend W.C. Bill Brooks' prize-winning blue tick coonhound, Brooks Blue Smokey. And so you have this long line of Smokies that have represented and roamed the sidelines for the University of Tennessee. We are currently on Smokey 11. Going into the next topic, what about the color orange, right? Most other fan bases, especially our rivals, tend to look upon our orange with a lot of disdain. But to the Tennessee faithful, this color perfectly represents our wonderful school. This is from an article by Kaylee Rosmanowski back in 2021 from the UT Daily Beacon. The Tennessee Orange is also known as Pantone 151C, is the primary color for the University of Tennessee. White is also considered another primary color. And you'll often see those two combined at any of our sporting events or anything associated with UT, right? They weren't just chosen at random, though. So on April 12th, 1899, it was UT's first field day, and the UT Athletic Association president, Charles Moore, selected those two colors because on the hill, which is where a lot of our original buildings are, it's kind of the nucleus of campus, right? Overlooks Neyland Stadium. On that hill, there was an abundance of American daisies, which is an orange and white, and he decided to pick those two colors, and they eventually stuck as our official two colors. So that's where we get the color orange from. And then lastly on this episode, and there you could do tons of episodes about this, and maybe we'll go more into the history of the university. But lastly for this episode, I wanted to talk about the checkerboard pattern, which is another thing that's typically associated with Tennessee. So the checkerboard pattern, which you can see our end zones decorated with. Sometimes our fan bases will checkerboard the stadium. In 1921, on Ayers Hall, when it was completed, which is on the hill, it has a clock tower at the top. And at the very top of this clock tower, there's a checkerboard pattern that surrounds it. And then in 1964, the University of Tennessee chose that pattern and decided to implement it in the end zones. And the rest is history. So just a fun little video. I wanted to do something kind of going more into history, especially with all the interest that the Rocky Top videos seem to stoke up a bit. And so just some cool, fun things about the University of Tennessee and where we get the Vols from and the orange and all that. So hope y'all like this video. Plan on doing another one tomorrow. Appreciate you being here. Thank you for watching. Definitely be sure to throw a comment down below. Tell me what you like, what you don't like, what I could do to improve this episode. Hit the like button if you don't mind, and above all else, please hit subscribe. Go Vols. Thank you for watching. Hope you're having a great day, and we'll see you next time.